7th launch of the year for Arianespace, and we're only in June. Well, there they are on the right, the green status panels, which tell the story. We had red just a moment ago. Now they're the color that we prefer. They are a real-time summary of all the launch activities here on the base, the launcher and the satellites, of course, but also services like telemetry, radar, safety, the weather, and the ground facilities. And we check them before lifting off, and we go when all of them are ready and not before. These panels tell us about the readiness of the main systems involved. And as you saw a moment ago, that wasn't the case. We had a red on an authorization to launch, but we're back in business now. Some 1,700 people are working around the space base in all. Another place besides here in Jupiter that is very busy at this hour is the launch zone, where the launch management teams are working under the direction of the launch operations manager, tonight Patrick Lucet. Right now up there, 2 teams are working. One is responsible for the ground operations, the other for readiness of the Ariane 5 vehicle. The launch site operations manager heads up one group, and he coordinates with Jupiter Mission Control here for final authorization to launch. And when all the conditions are right, he then okays the automatic sequence at the 7-minute mark, which we just saw. In all, about 100 people hard at work up there in launch control, going over the final checks and the final verifications on all parts of Ariane's launch system. And these checks go right down until liftoff time. 2.5 minutes to go until launch of our 94th Ariane 5 mission. And here in Jupiter, very shortly, the VIPs and the invited guests are going to start to make their ways outside to watch the liftoff. There are 2 terraces here on either side of the building that give a fine view onto the pad. And if the skies are clear, which they look clearer than this morning anyway, the visitors will have quite a sight. Here in Jupiter are the operational teams, but in fact, to launch Ariane or Soyuz or Vega, we also need security, army, firefighters, journalists, and other professions. Split screen image here showing the propellant feeder arms in the middle of the launcher, liquid hydrogen on the left, liquid oxygen on the right. What are they doing? Well, they're putting propellant into the upper stage tanks. And you'll see these arms pull back at about 5 seconds before ignition, and the arms you can see in the middle of the gantry, the yellow bars going into the upper stage. This is one of the last things you see before liftoff, that is, so we like to take a minute and mention it. 1.5 minutes to go. GSAT 17 arrived here on May 15th and went right to the satellite preparation buildings. Inmarsat Helisat arrived the week after on May 23rd and began its tests. You're going to hear the DDO call out the one.
À tous de DDO, attention pour moins 1 minute.
All those tests now to ready the launcher are over. Everything that has had to be done has been done.
Top à 0 moins 1 minute.
We're into the final 60 seconds. Give us a chance to say hello to our friends at ISRO in Bengaluru, to our friends at Arabsat, to Inmarsat tonight in London, Helisat people in Athens and in Larnaca in Cyprus, to the Thales Alenia space teams in Cannes and Toulouse. Hello locally to the Kourou, Sinnamary, and Cayenne sites, to our industrial partners, ESA and CNES, and to all of you following the broadcast on the internet. We hope you are enjoying it. If you're not settled in, pull up a chair and enjoy the launch, because we're going to cut away and let you listen to the DDO, and he will call out the final seconds. Remember, the cryo arms will open at about -7 seconds.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage UAP, décollage. Les paramètres bord sont nominaux.
18:15, and right on time, well, with a 5-minute delay. Ariane 5 began her mission, lifting off
La propulsion est nominale.
in French Guiana with a lot of fire. Nice shot of the birds on the port side as she took off. I don't know if you could see that. The DDO is saying that everything is going smoothly on board as Ariane begins her mission, the 7th for Arianespace.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
2 new satellites for new services for new customers around the globe. The 2 boosters are providing 90% of our thrust right now, propelling the launcher along her trajectory at an ever higher velocity. 774 tons is her mass at liftoff. She's burning 5 tons of fuel per second, 2.5 tons in each booster, plus the core stage in the middle is burning another 300 kilos of fuel every second. And Ariane 5 now following the program in her onboard computer, which is located on the upper stage. This gives all the orders, including stage separations, which we will
La propulsion est nominale, la trajectoire est nominale, tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Propulsion and trajectory normal, says the DDO. We're in the first of 4 flight phases. We'll describe each in turn and in detail so you can follow Ariane as she heads east across the Atlantic. Right now, the first flight phase. The single first stage engine and the 2 boosters are burning. The boosters will each consume 240 tons in just over 2 minutes, another 20 seconds roughly for them to burn. They'll be the first to be extinguished. You'll hear that also,
Tous les
of course, from
paramètres
the
à bord sont
DDO.
normaux.
We're 15 kilometers from the pad here in Jupiter, and the sound is just
Séparation
coming
des
over.
2 EAP.
All right, those are the separation of the 2 boosters. You saw that. The DDO confirmed it. This is what it looks like up there. There is one on the left-hand side of the vehicle, out of the camera range. Before the boosters are empty, their push diminishes and the onboard computer, the same one, senses this drop in acceleration and separates them. And they fall 500 kilometers from shore into a protected area. French Guiana was in part, remember, chosen as
Tous
a
les
base
paramètres à
for
bord
its
sont
opening
normaux, la
on
propulsion est
the ocean,
nominale.
launches posing no threat to local population. Take a look at the bottom of your screen. On the left, altitude, on the right, our speed. We're over 100 kilometers and we're past 2 kilometers per second. We're getting close to the separation of the fairing, which will be next up. And there we are, right on time.
Séparation de la
12
coiffe.
kilometers. Revealing the silver box on the top is Telesat Inmarsat. Separation is given by 2 pyrotechnic cords, and there's one half you can see, the other half on the right side out of camera range. These cords actually remove the fairing by a contained explosion, very small explosion, that pushes the 2 parts of the fairing apart. We can separate the fairing now. Why? Because we're out of the dense layers of the atmosphere, and neither friction nor heating, which could disturb the passengers. Also, we can get rid of any dead
propulsion
weight.
est nominale.
The fairing weighs almost 2.5 tons, so we don't need it anymore. We let it go. Ariane 5, of course, the heavy lift launch vehicle. The other 2 members of the family, Soyuz, lifting middle-sized payloads, 2 and 3 tons. And Vega, the light lift vehicle for
La
missions of
trajectoire
1
est
ton.
nominale.
Our next film gives you a closer look at one of our upper passenger operators, Telesat 3.
Welcome to the ASCENSION world, your gateway to satellite services right in the heart of Europe.
And liftoff of the Lockheed Martin Atlas V rocket carrying the first satellite for the countries of Greece and Cyprus.
ASCENSION is a premium satellite communications solutions provider founded in 2001 and acquired by Arabsat in 2013. Its powerful orbital position at 39 degrees east makes ASCENSION organization an established brand name in a highly competitive satellite environment. With ground facilities located in Greece and Cyprus, ASCENSION provides end-to-end, reliable and supreme quality satellite services in Europe, South Africa and the Middle East.
A high-skilled team of satellite network engineers in Greece and Cyprus provide our customers with fully reliable services that meet their communication needs when and wherever is required.
ASCENSION serves leading DTH operators by delivering content to more than 3 million households while providing cost-effective solutions to enterprises and governments that want to expand connectivity to every location of their network in the coverage areas.
Our focus is to provide solutions to our customers through our satellites in Europe, Middle East and South Africa.
As of June 2017, the new geostationary satellite HelasSat-3 will offer service continuity and expansion over 39 degrees east until the end of the year 2034.
HelasSat-3 Inmarsat S is a joint venture between Helasat and Inmarsat. The Helasat payload will operate 47 Ku transponders and 9 8K channels covering Europe, Middle East and South Africa. The HelasSat-3 Inmarsat S satellite is based on the Spacebus 4000 C4 platform and is one of the largest satellites manufactured by Thales Arianespace.
The launch and operation of HelasSat-3, to be followed by HelasSat-4 in 2018, are proof that HelasSat is becoming year by year a more powerful and competitive satellite organization, providing further flexible, scalable, and efficient HelasSat services to an even greater market across 3 continents.
Greece and Cyprus, from the ancient times, were the crossroads of civilizations and the crossroads of trade between Middle East, Africa, and Europe. Our ambition is HelasSat to play this role, to be the window of Middle East and Africa to Europe.
At HelasSat, we believe that leveraging our deep expertise to provide fast, reliable, and cost-effective solutions to our customers is at the core of everything we do. HelasSat, growing connections, brighter horizons.
The film mentioned HelasSat-4 to be launched next year. That new satellite will be launched also by Arianespace. We should have a launch replay coming up for you. There we are. That's the first one. We may have several shots of the launch vehicle in replay. You can relive those moments as Ariane 5 took off from the pad close to 8 minutes ago. We have cameras at several of the half-dozen observation sites that are stationed at the base, and they furnish us with shots from different angles. Here's the second one. We should have more. I think we're going to have a third one. The closest observation site is called Toucan, like the bird, and many of our VIPs are out there tonight, and that's closest to the base, about 4 kilometers. Wonderful view. We're in the second powered flight phase. The single engine core stage is burning now. While you were watching the film, we were also picked up by our first downrange tracking station in Natal over the border in our neighbor Brazil. A fast mission tonight. HelasSat Inmarsat will be on station in just 10 days. Michele Franchi of Inmarsat this morning told us that last month they launched from Florida, and the satellite won't be on station until early August because of the mission's different, involving electrical orbit raising and such things, but not today. They're going to be right there in a week and just a few days.
Extinction de l'EPC sur commande de guidage.
There you saw the extinction of the lower stage and the separation, and watch the nozzle on the upper stage. There it is, turning right on. These 3 commands, extinction and separation of the lower stage and ignition of the upper stage, given by the onboard computer in about 13 seconds. And our onboard camera giving a shot of the lower stage falling back into the Atlantic off the Gulf of Guinea. We are now in the third powered flight phase, the single upper stage engine that'll burn until plus 25 minutes, or 16 minutes roughly. The job of the upper stage is to take the satellites to their injection point, position them for separation, and then release them. That's its propulsion role, but it has a second role that comes during its ballistics phase, and we'll get back to that in a while. Our next film, another look at our first passenger, this time on the Inmarsat side.
In June 2014, almost exactly 3 years ago, Inmarsat first announced the creation of an integrated satellite and complementary ground network across Europe, seeking to take advantage of a visionary and unique commercial and technological opportunity created by the European Commission's DG Connect and subsequently supported to the hilt by 28 member state telecoms regulators. This new network, we said, would uniquely combine space-based and ground-based infrastructure to build a seamless, integrated network across the whole European Union that would deliver the most advanced aviation passenger Wi-Fi experience anywhere in the world. No network like this has ever been built before. And so the idea of the European Aviation Network, or EAN, was born. What we and our partners have achieved in just 36 months from that date is, frankly, amazing. We've commissioned an S-band payload from our partner Thales Arianespace, which is today being launched into an orbital slot over Europe by Arianespace. And we've constructed and fully tested the satellite ground infrastructure. We've also built a unique strategic partnership with Deutsche Telekom, one of the world's leading integrated telecommunications companies, to design, build and maintain the LTE-based ground network and to be our preferred provider of ISP services across the EAN. Deutsche Telekom continues to make good progress with the build-out of this complementary ground component network covering the highest density airline routes. We've signed international airline groups, which includes world-renowned airline brands such as British Airways, Iberia, Aer Lingus and Vueling as our launch customer for the new service. IAG plans to equip in excess of 300 aircraft with our EAN service and aims to have 90% of its short-haul fleet ready for commercial service by early 2019. And if all that wasn't enough, we've also secured all 28 EU territory mobile satellite service authorizations, plus Norway and Switzerland. And 27 countries have to date provided us with authorizations or in-principle approvals for the complementary ground component. To have done all this in just 36 months is a testament to the skill and dedication of multiple teams across Inmarsat and to the strength of our world-class network of partners. So today, with the launch of Inmarsat S-EAN, we see the plan for the European Aviation Network achieve another key milestone. The hard work, of course, is far from over. During the coming weeks and months, we will place the satellite into its orbital position before commencing a rigorous series of tests. In parallel, Deutsche Telekom will continue rolling out the complementary ground component across 31 countries in Europe, while our manufacturing partners complete production of the integrated satellite and air-to-ground avionics, which will enable EAN to operate as a fully integrated service. All this effort is focused on turning the concept of the European Aviation Network into the reality of an operational commercial service in the second half of this year. I'll conclude by offering my sincere gratitude to all my colleagues at Inmarsat, our engineering teams, our regulatory teams, our aviation team, and many, many others who have worked tirelessly, not just to deliver a unique service that will transform the experience of airline passengers throughout Europe in the years to come, but to have achieved so much in just 3 years. And finally, I must also offer my thanks to our vital EAN strategic partners, to Deutsche Telekom, Thales Arianespace, Thales Aviation, Cobham, and of course, today of all days, our trusted launch provider, Arianespace. Thank you.
While you were watching that film, we were picked up by our next downrange tracking station, Ascension Island. Tiny island out in the South Atlantic, 10 square kilometers, belongs to the UK. NASA had a station there till 1989 when they closed it. ESA decided to build its own. All of Ariane's trajectory has been designed to be followed from the ground. The launcher sends radar and telemetry back to this network of stations that keep constant watch on the health of her systems. Ascension Island, Natal before it, and others to come. A final film on Telesat Inmarsat for you now with a look at its builder, Thales Arianespace.
European airline passengers will soon be able to watch YouTube on the plane or surf the web thanks to the partnership between 4 parties. The strong ties between ourselves at Thales Arianespace and Inmarsat, ASCENSION and Arabsat have been instrumental in bringing Inmarsat S-band, ASCENSION Sat3 to fruition. We have developed a powerful and high-performance satellite with a unique combination of mobile, broadcast and fixed satellite services using Thales Arianespace Spacebus 4000 platform. Inmarsat S-band mission will deliver, as a complement of GX constellation, in-flight internet to rival what we get on the ground. The VA238 free mission will provide advanced telecom services in Europe and Africa. I want to thank everyone involved, all the partners, and Arianespace. This venture will transform passenger connectivity over Europe and the high-definition broadcast from 39 degrees east. Everyone at Thales Arianespace joins me in wishing Inmarsat, ASCENSION, Arabsat and their customers the very best for these exciting missions.
Couple of minutes left in the upper stage burn. Cutoff due, remember, at plus 25 minutes. Inmarsat and Helisat sharing what they call the condominium satellite. 2 independent missions on one satellite doesn't happen every day. So for this mission, we have 2 satellites, but 3 customers and 3 clients for flight number 238.